Everyone, making sure my voice is recording. Looks like it is. Today is the 6th of February 2024. It was quite chilly and gusty this morning, so I waited till early afternoon. So now it's a little more comfortable to be out here. I ordered all my brake parts from 3 different sources yesterday. I got the calipers and wheel cylinders on Amazon. I got the rear brake hose, the shoes, and the pads on Rock Auto, and I forgot to use my discount that I had on Rock Auto. Not my discount, my credit that I had. I remembered on Amazon, but not that. And I got the rear spring kit, hardware kit for the drum brakes from Lincoln Land. So all that source, the only thing that I'm not getting yet anyway is rotors and drums. The rotors, I'm hoping I'll be able to have these turned and that there's enough material on them. And I'm still trying to get a used drum to replace the cracked one I have, and then I'll see if those can be turned. So in the meantime, I'm going to start on the front and start prep work for all the new parts. So I'm going to remove the front hub assemblies that come with the rotors, and I'll take the bearings out, examine them, make sure they're still in good shape. I hope they are, because getting replacement bearings in races is very expensive anymore with these old cars, if you can even find them. And assuming they're in good shape, then I'll repack the bearings and set them aside in a plastic bag until I have the rotors turned. And I'll just start getting ready so that when the parts do arrive, I can start putting them on. I just pulled off the grease cap here with my slip joint pliers, and it spins easily, and I don't have any play, which is all good, and there's plenty of grease in there too, so hopefully this was well maintained. So I'm going to wipe off that grease with some paper towels or something and get to the cotter key that's in there and take that off. Okay, here's the initial view of the outer bearing anyway. From what I can see, it looks perfectly fine. That's good. Obviously in need of repacking, but that's why I'm here. So this is all coming apart pretty easily. There was a good amount of grease in there, which there should have been. So I'll pop the inner one out just using a punch to push it out. That's what I forgot to get. I didn't even realize it until just now. I need to buy the inner seals too. I might as well replace those when I got all this apart. I'm just demonstrating how I remove the inner bearing here. It's pretty simple. You just tap gently on the bearing itself. You don't have to hit too hard because it's just the seal's the only thing holding it in. So you just gently tap it, and that's it. It falls right out. And oops, I forgot it was going to be right on the ground, but that's okay. So looking at this bearing, it looks to be in good condition as well. So that's good. So I'll put these in my parts washer a little later on to clean those up. I'm also going to use my bench grinder that has the spinning wire wheel on it to clean up the threads on the retaining bolts for the calipers, because those don't come with new calipers. Most of the time I just reuse these seals, but I still have that credit on Rock Auto, so I set myself a reminder to just order new ones. And looking at the races inside where the bearings ride, they look to be just fine too, so that's good. It's been a long, long time since I've seen a bearing go bad on these, so as long as they've been taken care of over the years and re-greased or whatever, repacked, they usually last forever. And these, at least on this side, appear to be fine. So I can now take this one to the shop, my mechanic's shop, and see if he can turn this. But of course, I'll take the other side off too. The spindle looks to be fine. Where's my paper towels? Here they are. Wipe that off real quick. I'm sure it's fine. All that grease, there shouldn't be any rust here. There's not. Okay, everything looks good here. Okay, good. Of course, I'll use a new cotter key when I put all this back together later, but this all looks good. So far, so good. Now I'm going to go to the other side. One thing I wanted to mention real quick while I'm thinking about it is that you have to be careful, and most of you I'm sure already know this, I'm just documenting, to maintain the relationship between the bearings and their races. In other words, don't swap the bearings side to side. Keep them with the wheel that you're working with the rotor that, or the hub that you're working with. So I'm going to go stick my first set in the parts washer, let it soak for a while I'm getting started on the other side. I just finished cleaning some of the surface here with my rotary wire brush. Mark this rotor as the left or driver's side so I can keep everything aligned properly or together properly, and I'll put the bearings in a Ziploc bag marked the same way. Passenger side here marked right, so this has been removed and cleaned off. So really, I guess I'm kind of done in the front. I just have to transport these over to my mechanic's shop and let him tell me if they can be turned or not. Um, so I guess I'll go ahead and do that. Just take the time to drive over there and drop those off. And then when I come back, I'll start on the rear brakes, tearing all that apart. I just got back from my mechanic's shop, and we agreed that he's going to turn them regardless of whether they're within limits or not, which is what I was hoping he would say, because it's just going to be a weekend driver once I do start driving a little bit. So he says it looks like there's plenty of meat on those rotors to still use them. I did give him the copy out of my shop manual that has the specs on it and whatnot in case the car is too old to look it up online or something. But so I'm looking forward to getting those back. At least I don't have to worry about trying to purchase new rotors. Um, so now I'm going to work on the rear brakes, start tearing all that stuff apart. Actually, now I take that back. I'm going to go to my parts washer and get that first set of bearings done and get them out and drying so I can put the second set in. Also wanted to mention that on the right side, I had a heck of a time with this little connecting steel line here on both ends. I had to use vice grips to get those fittings loose. I can still reuse them, but I'm probably going to be better off finding a replacement for that little line there. I guess I could go to the store and just get a short or some brake line and make one myself, but I'll look online, see how much they cost for a set of these. This is the first set of bearings and other things that I just finished washing and drying as best I could. Now this parts washer doesn't have caustic cleaning chemicals like gas or something, so not everything is gone, but you know, it's a lot cleaner than it was. Um, Certainly good enough for my purposes with what I'm doing with this car. So the bearings, I'm going to leave these things sitting out in the air for a while to let the remaining cleaner that might still be in here evaporate before I repack them with fresh grease. And I also ran the bolts here, the retaining bolts, through my grinding wheel over there, the brush. So I'll clean those up and I'll lubricate those when I put them back together on the new calipers whenever they get here. Now I'm going to go back and get the other set of bearings. Actually, they're already here. I just need to put them in the parts washer and get those started. And I have my Ziploc bag already labeled for this to go into, and I'm done with all that. There's a very nitnoy kind of detail. I notice in this cap, there's this little insert in there. I've never known what those are for, really. I don't know what its purpose is, but the other side doesn't have it. It's missing. I don't think it's a big deal, one way or the other, but I'm just pointing that out. At the right rear of the car now, so just had to release the parking brake so I can get the drum off. I love that that works at least. So the nice thing about the rear brakes is that I don't really have to clean anything other than maybe the black backing plate because I'm getting all new hardware. So, well, I guess there's a couple things. Maybe this adjustment or centering bar, whatever that's called, I'll need to clean that, but not much. Getting them apart is a lot easier than putting those springs back on. I'm sure any of you that have worked on drum brakes know that. But so that's what I'm doing right now, just disassembling here. I've just been reminded on how long it's been since I've worked on drum brakes. I apparently no longer have my brake tools like the brake spring pliers and the little tool to release these. I know I can do it without that, but I'll probably go buy those again before I put the new stuff on. But getting the old stuff off, I'll make do with what I got with screwdrivers, whatever. All right, it's really cold out here, so I'm putting things away outside. The last thing I'll do is in the shed when I clean the other set of bearings and let them out to dry. But I did get this brake taken apart. The only thing I didn't do was attempt to disconnect the steel line from the back of wheel cylinder. I'm really afraid of what's going to happen there when I get to that point, but I'll have to do it eventually. So I have to work. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. I also have to work a little bit on Thursday, so may not get back to this until Thursday afternoon at the soonest. But anyway, like I said, I've still got a little more cleaning to do in the shed with my bearings, right front bearings, and then I'll call it a day. I have finished drying the other set of bearings for the passenger side. Car's wrapped up, buttoned up. So I'll see you next time. Thank you.